Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over the week outlook in the stock market. There has been a ton of research that I have been doing for the last 2 days, and I've been packaging it all together for you guys. And maybe we'll see something interesting shaping up in the overall market. What we saw this past week was a terrible jobs number. The market was not expecting this. So since the market wasn't expecting this, that's not going to work. The tech market skyrocketed. So the reason why that happened is because inflation, the pickup in interest rates is now not even on the table, because the Fed was waiting for the jobs numbers to come back, and then they're going to start to raise rates. So if the jobs number is so absolutely terrible, that gave some more room for those high growth stocks to continue to run. Well, not continue really, but rebound and then maybe run to all-time highs. This is all things that we have to keep an eye on this week. It had a nice rebound on Friday, but on Thursday, the NASDAQ, it pulled back below its 50-day moving average, which is not a bullish sign. So since that happened on Friday, the jobs report gave it a really nice move to over that 50. A lot of lighting issues so far, but it moved it over that 50 moving average, and it closed over it. So these are all things we have to keep an eye on. And if you guys see me looking over here, it's because I have all my notes written down. There's just no way I'd be able to remember everything that I wrote down here. So, this is really, it's not going to, and I'll share my screen with you guys in a second, but it's going to be a tougher market, and it's going to be more of a stock picker market. I don't know if you guys have heard this term before, but last year and the beginning of this year was really easy as far as throwing a dart at a board and the stock is going to go up. Well, unfortunately, stocks have pulled back. There's so many more stocks that have broken their 50-day, which is not very bullish, but it's going to be more of a stock picker market. So I'm going to start out with this video, but before I do, hit the thumbs up for me. If you're new, subscribe. We have new videos every day. So so get to that, hit the thumbs up for me, and I'll get into sharing the screen. We're going to look at, obviously, some technical breakouts, but first, I just want to focus first on some fundamental stocks that may have, some room to run, just strictly on fundamentals, okay? Not technical breakouts, which I'm a lot better at, is calling technical breakouts. But these are going to be fundamental, news, earnings, revenue guidance, fundamentals, things like that, that I took notice to. So the first one that I want to look at is, this is FreeportMcMoran. Pronouncing that right. This obviously is extended as far as the technicals go. if you look at this, this is a very clear breakout of this level right here. Okay, so it's extended. But from a fundamental outlook on this year, next year, I do think that this has a lot more room to run. This company, what they do is they mine copper. If you guys have not been living under a rock lately, you know that copper is one of the most important things to the overall green economy, electric vehicles, solar, wind farms, charging stations. Everything needs copper. And they are probably the only stock in the S&P 500 that has a direct correlation because they are a copper miner. So just looking at this, obviously it's extended. So if I wanted to trade this, what I would wait for is I would wait for a pullback and then I would get long. All right, you don't ever want to chase things, but I would definitely add this to a watch list of a stock. It pays a dividend. It has a great bullish outlook for the next couple years. So this is definitely one that is on my long-term portfolio. And it's something that I think has way more room to run. So it basically, now, you know, looking at my notes that I took here on this stock, I didn't even know this, but every electric vehicle contains at least 180 pounds of copper. This is something I did not know. It's key in, like I said, the solar, the wind farms. These wind farms that they're making now that are, you know, out in the ocean, they need these really, really thick copper wires to go from the actual wind farms all the way to shore. All the charging stations, like I said, it all needs copper. So that is definitely one that's on my, you know, longer term outlook. It's a stock, you know, a stock pickers market now. These are just things I'm giving you guys for a possibility of potential buys and maybe holds for a little bit longer than we're used to outside of our day trading. Another one is Seagate Technologies, okay? As you can see here on the technicals, this pulled back very nicely to the 20 EMA. And you can see here that it looks like it's holding the 20. So this can give you, you know, this is more of like a longer term play for me because Seagate, what they do is they are one of the biggest makers in disk drives, okay? These huge, and they also are into the cloud, but these huge warehouses where they have all of the disk drives, all of the computing that hold, you know, for the cloud and for all the data, they're mostly compiled or comprised of the disk drives that are made by Seagate. They just killed it on earnings. They raised revenue guidance, everything that you want to see. It also was like the first time in almost 10 years that they had double-digit growth going forward. And like I said, revenue guidance. This is one that's also going to be on my longer-term radar. I'm just starting with these. Qualcomm, obviously, you guys all know this one. This is a just a 5G play, okay? It pulled back, like you can see with the technicals, it pulled back to its 200-day moving average, but it's being held up by the 200-day. So it's still making higher highs, right? Higher highs, higher lows right here. This is something that also shows potential, not just from a fundamental point of view, but from a technical breakout. And this is also going to go with the overall NASDAQ market. So, I mean, it's just a great company. They're in a sector, 5G, that if you want some, you know, exposure to, this is a really good company for that. A couple retail names, GAAP obviously has had a very nice looking chart on the technicals. Bullish, it's well over its 200, it's well over its 50, and it's over the 20 EMA. This is a very nice looking chart. And retail obviously is exploding. And another one that I really like is American Eagle. They have done a really good job during the pandemic with their e-commerce and this brand that they have. It's called like Airy or something like that. And they use social media to really do a good job using their influencers to push the product. So as this pulled back to the 20 EMA, it gave a pretty good buying opportunity. You know, it's a very nice chart, very bullish. So I definitely look for this one to continue to make all-time highs. So this is something that's also going to be on a longer term, you know, portfolio, because this one will only do better as the year goes on, especially going through the summer and then going to the fall, people buying new clothes, maybe for school and for the office, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a couple of the retail names. Now getting to the technicals, and this is, I'm going to go through a couple of these, Penn being one of them, okay? These have all gotten beaten down a lot. All the gambling stocks have gotten crushed. This one had a nice bounce off its 200-day. Now, when something breaks down under its 50-day moving average, you want to see some buying come in somewhere, okay? And that logical place would have been the 200-day. It did that, okay? It bounced off 80, which is a very clear area of support, and it showed that it was respected. So Penn is on my radar for this week. I'm bullish on this stock. DraftKings, and now these both already had their earnings last week, so you don't have to worry about an earnings coming up because everything has been selling off during earnings, which is what happened here with DraftKings. It also happened with Penn. The only problem with DraftKings is it didn't get support with its 200-day like Penn did. So this is a little bit of a problem for me, but I do have this area here between 44 and 45 that should act as support for this stock. They raised guidance, so the fundamentals look good. We're just waiting for the technicals to look good. So I'm going to be watching this. I like Penn more than DraftKings, but DraftKings, you can see here on the RSI, is at 27. It's extremely oversold. When something is oversold, like you see here, usually it goes up because stocks don't just continue to go right down, especially when they hit this level on the RSI. So DraftKings can definitely be at least a quick pop. at the beginning of the week, but we'll see what happens with that one. Neo, I think I have here bouncing off its 200-day, okay? At this point here, Neo showed a very nice breakout. It has pulled back, but it hasn't made lower lows yet. So if this one continues to hold up and bounce, it closed over its 200-day, this one can actually produce another nice breakout. So Neo is on my watch list for this week. Also, TLRY is another one. As you can see, this market is now different. There's never been so many stocks that have hit their 200-day than they have been in the past couple weeks. So this one is also bouncing off the 200-day. So TLRY, I'm going to be watching this week. There's some earnings coming up. Aurora, I think, also with TLRY has earnings. So we'll see how that one works out. And we'll be watching this. I like the technical bounce, though, on TLRY. A couple more technical plays. Jefferies. Okay, Jefferies Financial. Financials have been doing really, really well. This is setting up a perfect cup handle breakout, okay? If it can break this level here at 35, it could go, you know, who knows, how high does it want to go? But this is setting up for a nice breakout. It bounced, it's making higher highs, higher lows, and it bounced off its 50-day. It's over the 20. Extremely bullish on Jefferies. I really like this one for this week. Also, Airbnb. I have alerts set on this one. If it comes down to around 45-ish, I may get long. It has earnings, though. And the earnings, I think, are Thursday. I might have it written down here. Yeah, so, yep, Thursday. So Airbnb has earnings on Thursday. Also, a technical play. So the RSI is extremely low, like DraftKings was. This one doesn't have a 200-day yet because it just IPO'd in December. There's just not enough data yet. But I see support at this level. And the reason why I chose this level is this was the first real breakout, and it followed with the volume. So where you have a lot of volume, usually that's where there's going to be a level that tries to get support at. So I have my alert set here. This shows a really nice return. If you can get this, whoops, wrong one. If you can get this, you know, with earnings, you never know what's going to happen. So I usually don't like to buy anything around there. But where it is now to where it was, that's 47% potential just to return back to, you know, a previous resistance level. I never like to hold past that. I would always set price targets to what is a previous resistance level. But it has been making lower highs and lower lows. Where will it find support? That's why I set my alerts. So that's Airbnb. Another one, I think this is, let's see, I went over all those. I think this is the last one. So this is Inmode. This was showing a lot of strength, a very bullish, extremely bullish chart. It pulled back with earnings, right? And this also has a very nice 22% if you wanted to get back to what was previous highs. So far, it's still making higher lows and higher highs. I'm still bullish. It looks like it closed over the 50-day moving average. This is one I'm going to be watching with the overall NASDAQ market. This shows a pretty nice recovery, especially after earnings. They also had, let me see here, bear with me. All right, I didn't write it down, but they had tremendous growth, and it's been being accumulated a lot from the big institutions. So this is definitely one, if it can hold the 50 and retake the 20, it's just a matter of time before it gets back to all-time highs. So this is going to be also on what I watch this week. The whole week we are waiting. Will the NASDAQ respond to those jobs numbers? Will they continue to rebound? Will the overall market continue to remain hot? These are all things we're just going to have to wait and see how they play out. Really waiting for a sector to get hot again. That's the way the market used to be. We would have a hot sector and you used to be able to just ride that momentum, whether it was the EV charging, the weed stocks, the electric vehicle stocks, you know, all those growth stocks, whatever it was, the sector would get hot. Gaming, gambling, the sector would get hot and it would be pretty easy to make a nice profit. It's just not as easy as it was, but that's fine. If you're in the market and you're doing this, you like a challenge, okay? I don't know a trader that does not like this type of challenge. We are very competitive people. And, you know, as the market gets a little more difficult, we just have to get a little more, you know, a little stronger, do a little bit more work, a little bit more research, a little bit more on the technicals, and just be selective. And that's it. And also going to wait and see when the momentum stocks, those pre-market gappers, they have been showing, I do have to say, they've been showing a lot more strength recently, especially the last week. So if we could get that going, that just adds another area where we can all profit off of. So that's basically where I'm going to wrap things up. I hope that, you know, this week gives us something to, you know, profit off of. There's always going to be opportunities. Just don't chase highs. So I don't want any FOMO going on. If something is ripping, just wait for the retracement, get in then. Yeah, that's about it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that thumbs up for me. This actually takes a lot of work, a lot of effort to make these videos and to do all the research. So I read the Barron's already. I read Investors Business Daily, the Wall Street Journal. I got in all the charts, and you know, all for you guys, all for my subscribers who I love. And if you guys want a great Discord to join, we have a free one. I'll link it in the description. And come join us over on Twitter. Every day I post the important price levels on the SPY and on the Qs. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys, and I will see you back with the next video. Everybody take care.